Hi and welcome to this Furuno Australia TZtouch3 MFD training video. In this video today we're going to look at the edge swipe functions and also the function gestures and setup of those gestures. So let's jump straight in. So here we have the TZ3 chart plot display, and on any of these displays when you first start them up you can see on the top, the left, the right and the bottom there are blue arcs or blue circle shapes, or half moon shapes if you will, with an arrow in them that point in the direction of the center of the display. These are where you swipe from your edge. So if I go from the top, I swipe my finger down from the top and you can see I've got a shortcut menu that flows down. If I swipe from the left inwards to the display, then I've got a nav data display, and if I hold and swipe back that will disappear. And then swiping from the right hand side, I've got my quick functions where I can turn on my track and PBG and put in a position and measure and do all that sort of stuff. And then I swipe from the bottom, and the bottom gives me my layers menu, and this layer menu is different for each display. So for your radar and your sounder you have different options on each one, and we can take a look at that. So I'll just change to a split screen. So I've got a split screen with a plotter and sounder. So on the left hand side I've got my chart plotter with the boat in the middle of the screen, and on the right I've got my fish finder. So you can see the yellow border or the orange border if you will around the chart plotter. That means that display is currently selected. So if I swipe up from the bottom with that display selected, you can see I can change from auto to CMAP to Navionics to fishing charts. I can turn on overlays and I can do lots of different options for my layers menu on my chart plotter. If I now tap on the sounder screen once and then swipe up from the bottom, I've now got my sounder control. So I can change my sounder sources, I can change my screen layout, to my gain and offsets and set presets, etc. So that is from the sounder menu. And then if we quickly have a look, we'll go to a radar, and I'll tap on the radar to make sure it's selected. If I swipe up from the bottom, now I've got my radar layers menu. So that is what we call edge swiping. So you're swiping from the edge to put on nav data, to flick between screens, and to do some shortcuts like to enter a position, etc, etc. We also have some gestures, and the gestures are what you use with your hands to move and manipulate the display. A few gestures you'll be familiar with is pinch to zoom, very similar to a smartphone where you pinch your fingers or you spread your fingers apart and that will zoom in and zoom out. We've also got a single finger dragging across the screen will pan it around and moving it around, and then tapping the screen once will open up a menu with a single tap. There are others too, so if you wanted to lay down the screen you can do two fingers and you can swipe upwards, and if you swipe up it lays the chart plotter down in a 3D type mode. If you then turn your fingers vertically and swipe from left to right, there we go, you can move and change and manipulate which way the chart plot is looking. And to get back again we tap on the 3D in the bottom left hand side. Some other functions too are a quick two finger tap. So a single tap will bring up your menu. If you get two fingers, kind of like snake eyes, you can two finger tap and it will drop an event. So I can drop a screenshot, or I can drop a waypoint or a route. So I'll just drop a waypoint, and you can see now from when I tap that screen I've dropped an event back behind the boat from when I tapped it. There are others too with a long finger press. So a long finger press can make a screen full screen, for instance. So for example I have a chart plotter and sounder, and if I want to see a full screen sounder I can either go through the menus and homes and choose the full screen sounder, or swipe down from the top if I've got a full screen sounder set, or with a gesture I can hold two fingers, snake eyes again, onto the sounder screen and hold it down for a length of time for a few seconds, and it will make the sounder screen bigger. So two fingers on the sounder screen and it brings it back. If I then tap on the chart plotter, two fingers, hold it down, I now got a full screen chart plotter. Two fingers, hold it down, and it goes back to dual screen. And I can do that with any sort of screen. So I can have the chart plotter with some sonars and sounders, etc. If I want to go to full screen chart plotter, two fingers, hold it down, and I can get a full screen out of any one of those windows. To adjust those and change those, so I want to make a function gesture be what I want it to be. You know, I don't want the function gesture to be hold down fingers, etc. You can customize them. To customize them, I go into Home and Settings and General. And at the top of General menu, you've got 2-finger tap function is event, so it's the quick tap, and then 2-finger long tap function is full screen. I can adjust them to be whichever one I want it to be. So if I want it to go into settings or open my lists up, or look at the tides or game controls, etc., I can set them to whatever I want. And I've got 2 options there. I've got a 2-finger tap, which is a quick tap, and a 2-finger long tap function. So that concludes our video on edge swiping and gestures and their setups. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact Furuno Australia support, and thanks for watching.